7th City Council agenda meeting. I now call us to order. Now we will have a pledge of allegiance and an invocation, should he please, by Councilman Ledford. Ledford.
Yeah, I had a request for this background today with the headsets, so I think I'm going to honor that. If you would please stand with me and face an American flag.
Okay.
Here we go. Very good. And repeat after me.
Do that.
I pledge
allegiance
To the
flag of the United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, I move the agenda.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. So moved.
Get a second.
Second.
Okay. Do we need to do, Mr. City Attorney, do we need to do a roll call on this one?
Probably so, since we're in the official meeting here tonight. I believe so, yes.
Yeah, we are official. Madam Clerk, could you please do a roll call on the approval of the minutes?
Yes, I'll start with Councilwoman Burrs.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert.
Working on it.
Vice Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
All right, that was 8 votes.
Okay. Motion by 8 votes to approve the minutes. Thank you very much. Now, let's move on to ordinances on final reading. Madam Clerk, let's please start with 5A.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a sewer easement within 2 closed unnamed streets rights of way abandoned by ordinance number 4021 located in the 3000 block of Broad Street, tax map number 155 FC001 as detailed on the attached map.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call vote.
Yes.
All right, Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert, are you here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs.
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
All right, that's 9 yeses.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
it looks like Councilman Gilbert his video is not, it looks like his video is stopped. Maybe you should, bottom left-hand corner, start video.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make sure that we've got video of anybody casting a vote this evening.
Sure. Absolutely. All right, Councilman Gilbert, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, let's get you where we can see you.
You just need
In
to
the hands of Ken, I can't do anything.
start video.
Yeah,
At the bottom left-hand corner.
Yes.
yeah.
There you go.
There you
Oh,
are.
great.
All
All
right.
right. Full
Thank you,
house.
Mr. Chair. Moving on.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Motion carries 9-0. Madam Clerk, let's go to 5B.
An ordinance closing and abandoning partially the right-of-way of the northwest and northeast corner of 4th Street, southeast corner of 3rd Street and Cherry Street, southwest corner of 3rd Street and Walnut Street as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you very much.
If you have no problems with this, Chair, it's in your district, move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. I have no problem. Seconded by Councilwoman Burrs. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I don't know if you're noticing the raised hands. Do you want me to let you know, or are you able to see those?
Let me see. Hold on. I am not. Where are we at? Okay, I'm good. I'm where the raised hands are.
Got them?
Thank you, Councilman Smith. I got it on my screen now. I didn't at first. Thank you, sir. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
All right, that's 9 yeses.
Okay, motion carries 9-0. Okay, Madam Clerk, now we're getting ready to move on ordinances on first readings. Let's start with 6A.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 13214, known as the fiscal year 2017-2018 capital improvement budget ordinance, so as to appropriate $500,000 from the Department of Economic and Community Development Capital Fund to the Chattanooga Area Chamber of Commerce for processing small business COVID-19 coronavirus bridge grants.
Okay, we have Councilman Gilbert, followed by Councilwoman Byrd.
Let Councilwoman Byrd go first, because she pushed first.
Okay, Councilwoman
Thank you.
Byrd.
Thank you. Move approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any further questions? Any further discussions? Okay, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
All right, that's 9 yeses.
Okay, we have 9-0 to motion carries. Thank y'all very much for this very, very important ordinance. Now,
Chair.
Vice Chairman Henderson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we all know, this is an ordinance that requires 2 readings. We can't have 2 readings on the same day. I'm going to recommend that we recess our meeting tonight and that we reconvene tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 o'clock to have a second reading on this important item.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded that we will recess at the conclusion of tonight's business. It's been properly seconded. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
Okay, that's 9 yeses.
Okay, motion carries to recess at the conclusion of this meeting until tomorrow, April 8th at 10 o'clock. Thank you, colleagues. Now we'll move on to resolutions. Madam Clerk, let's start with 7A.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00187 for property located at 1609 Long Street, number 102.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt here briefly. This is the first time we're going over this, so we're still trying to figure out how we can engage the public on this. I think we discussed last week that we'd be handling this, and then earlier in our session, Mr. Noblet also specified that there was a form that people could fill out if they wanted to speak. I currently have 5 people that have filled that form out, and it looks like they are all in opposition, or at least they all want to speak on short-term vacation rental. However, I do not know, based on what I am seeing here, let's see, I've only got 1 that bothered to list which one they were in opposition of. So I don't know, sir, if you just want to ask if any one of these individuals is ready to speak. Do you want me to allow attendees to raise their hand? What would you prefer at this point in time that that we do to handle the interaction with,
Yeah.
at the very least, these 5 individuals.
Sure. Let's ask if there's any opposition to this particular one on 1609 Long Street, then we can let those citizens address. Because they are in District 7, then at this time, so I can handle it personally, because it is in my district, I would turn the chair over to Vice Chairman Henderson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess first we need to find out, Councilman Smith, is the applicant on board with us?
And I'm not showing any attendees that are raising hands at this time. It does say that they are allowed to. If staff or anybody is seeing otherwise, please let me know. But it does say that attendees can raise a hand. Oh, I have one now. Oh,
Okay.
I have one now, sir. Mr. Ben Grady, who did fill out the form, I am opening his mic.
Is he the applicant? Do we know?
He is a protest. I do not see any information for applicants.
Okay.
And no other hands are raised.
Okay, Mr. Attorney?
Yes.
If we call for the applicant and they do not raise their hand, are we ready to go on to the opposition at this time?
You've given an opportunity for the applicant to be present at this point in time. The applicant and the, I guess the employees for the Land Development Office that have reviewed that would give their presentation first, then the applicant, and then the opposition in accordance with your rules.
Okay, Chairman Oglesby, do you want the presentation by
Yes.
LDO?
Yes, I do, Mr. Vice Chair.
Okay.
Okay.
Councilman Smith, would you bring up a representative of LDO, please?
Who does that representative need to be? Do we know? Mr. Chair, did they let us know ahead of time?
Caleb generally handles those matters.
Okay, one moment.
Is Caleb on?
Give me just a moment. Caleb, are you with us?
Looks like Charlie Young.
Is that Charlie?
Yes.
Okay, Charlie's good.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Hey,
Caleb dropped back off.
Caleb is on, or he shows he's on.
There he is. Okay, hang on, Charlie. I picked you and you had your name. Let's get Caleb up here.
Caleb, if you'll unmute your microphone.
Good evening.
Caleb, you should be good.
Charlie was going to be doing the presentations.
Okay.
So we do want Charlie in here. All right, hang on. It says he is joining. It's just taking a minute for it to happen. Okay. Charlie, you with us? You're muted. Charlie, with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay, we're waiting on the presentation for the property located over on 1609 Long Street, Unit 102.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I can't.
No.
I can't see.
No,
No, you'll have to share. Hold on just a moment. All right, if you can share your screen now, you should be able to do so.
All right, hold on. Pull that up. Allow me to do it with him on here. All right, I'm trying to share my screen with you. No, that's not it.
The button, you've got a tab in about the middle of your screen at the bottom.
Right.
It should just say share screen. Is it not, when you click it, is it not giving you an option there, Charlie?
Let's try this one. It's because I have multiple screens, it's trying to pull up all my screens.
Well, you have to select one. It's going to show them all to you and then pick the one you want to share.
Okay. Let's do that one. Can you see that screen?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Mr. Attorney, can we just do a verbal till we get the screen worked out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Charlie, while you're working on the screen, just do us a verbal
Okay.
on the
So
presentation.
we have 1609 Long Street. It's going to be STVR number 19-STVR-00187. This building is a condominium building. It has several STVRs located inside of the building, and I'm still trying to work.
We can see your screen now if you just want to play that presentation.
Okay. If you'll notice where my cursor is right here, we've identified that as the black one, and the reason we have is because we have multiple STVRs in this building. But you can see the density of the STVRs in the area. The non-owner occupied is identified by purple, owner occupied identified by green. Aerial shot of the building itself. This is a exterior picture of the building. Driveway to where the parking areas are. Another photo down Long Street at the front corner of the building itself. From the rear of the building back towards Long Street in the back parking area. So we'll get to, here's the dates and the way the application was processed. We received the application December the 10th, 2019. It was reviewed and approved on December the 18th. On December the 20th, the LDO emails the applicant, the sign, and the inspection opposition letters were mailed out on December 30th. The notice the sign was posted was on January 8th, 2020. And here we are on April the 7th, 2020. If anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Yeah, now I'd like to hear from the, if the applicant's not here, let me hear from any of the opposition.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Councilman Mitchell.
When I see 12/30/2019 opposition letters mailed out, what exactly does opposition letters mailed out? Is that just a notification letter? Or?
That's when RPA sends out the notification letters to all property owners within 300 feet of the property.
Can we change that wording in the future?
Yes. Be glad to.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It should just reference notification, not
Correct.
opposition. Okay. Councilman Smith.
Yes, sir.
I cannot see hands raised at this time because of the way my screen is set up.
I can tell you that there is.
There we go. Now I can.
I've got one attendee by the name of Aaron, but I do not have an Aaron on our list. So I am unsure if that would be applicant or opposition. I am happy to open the mic and we can determine at that point if that is something you would like to do, Mr. Chair.
Yes, yes.
Go
ahead, Mr. Vice Chairman. Yeah.
Mr. Young, do we know who the applicant's name is? It is Aaron. Or
I can give it to you.
Spawn is the applicant.
Do what?
Aaron Spawn
Okay.
is the applicant.
I'm gonna open the mic for Aaron. Just a moment.
Let's so he'll have 5 minutes and the opposition will have 5 minutes.
Yes.
Councilman Smith, do we have a clock or do we just need to keep it?
We'll work on that, sir. All right, Aaron has just joined.
Okay. Okay, you're going to have to unmute your mic, Aaron.
I guess.
Okay.
There we go. All right, you'll have 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, so this property I applied several months ago. At the time, I think that we were at our capacity, and then someone had sold one of the units, so that it brought us down below the 9-bedroom threshold. So that's when I applied. And there's, I think, been several after that have applied since. So my units, I only allow 2 people. Out of respect to my neighbors, I don't allow smoking. I have pretty strict quiet hours between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. My neighbor directly next door, Gabriel, he watches over the place for me too. And my parents have been operating in the front for a little over 1.5 years. I manage their property. So far, we've not had any issues with anyone. We have plenty of parking, a private parking lot in the back, and then we also have street parking. I don't allow pets. So I really try to be respectful to my neighbors in the building, primarily because we don't have many residents because a lot of the units are Airbnb at this point. But we do, most of the units are leased, they're rental units. And we have a high turn sales. Those units sell a lot in that building. But yeah.
Okay, is that your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Chairman Oglesby, do you have any questions at this time for the applicant?
Well, I saw Mr. Noblet. I believe you was raising your hand, Phil.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure for the record that this particular structure is not part of a affordable housing pilot program.
It is not.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
No, I don't have any questions of her right now. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me go. Any other questions from the council for the applicant? Okay, if not, Councilman Smith, if we could go to opposition. Do you show, do you have?
I have no other hands raised, sir.
Okay, seeing that, go ahead.
All right, Councilman, Chairman Oglesby, what's your pleasure?
Yeah, seeing that there's no opposition and I'm very familiar with this location and I'd like to move to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Councilman Byrd. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Byrd?
Yeah.
Councilman Byrd?
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod?
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson?
Yes.
Councilman Ledford?
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby?
Yes.
All right, that's 9 yeses.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chair, before we swap back, would you like for me to handle B and then C is in your district as well?
Yeah, that's great. A great idea. If you can handle these next 2, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Vice Chairman.
Madam Clerk, would you read 7B, please?
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 19 STVR 00184 for property located at 1420 Madison Street.
All right, Mr. Young, would you like to give us a presentation, please?
Sure.
Excuse me, Chair.
Councilman Byrd?
Yes, sir. This is in my district, and the presentation at this time is unneeded, if that's okay. And if the applicant do you know if the applicant is on with us?
There is a Bryson Moore.
I've got a Bryson Moore on the line.
He has his hand raised, Councilman.
That's the applicant, or is that opposition?
The applicant.
That's the applicant. Could we please bring him up?
Yes, sir. One moment. Mr. Moore, you are up.
Mr. Moore, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Councilman Byrd, I think, has a question for you.
Hello, Mr. Moore. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Councilman Byrd. Doing great. Given the circumstances, how about you?
Hey, I'm doing just fine, sir. I've been in contact with a young lady that's trying to organize a meeting. Her name is Jennifer Madison.
Yes, sir.
And it has not been any opposition to my knowledge, but just some concerns and some questions they would like to talk to you about. If possible, I would like for you to give me a call after this session so that me and you can talk, so I can get you Jennifer's information so that you all could talk. And I will be asking the council to defer this for 1 week, and we will redo this next week.
Yes, sir. It's fine with me.
Okay, so you can, my phone number is public record. It's okay, 423-645-3822. You can call me tonight, say after this session is done, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I will get you in touch with Miss Jennifer, and so you guys can talk, and I'll move to defer this for 1 week, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Councilman Byrd?
Yes, sir.
You defer till the 14th? I'm sorry.
Hang on. You've got one individual that did register in opposition that has raised their hand. Would you like to hear from that person?
Of course. Mr. Bryson, we'll be talking to this individual and let them have their say. And we'll talk to Miss Jennifer and get some understanding of how we can move forward with this by next week. So just call me tonight, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Councilman.
Yes, sir.
All right, Councilman Byrd, we have Erica McCauley.
Yes. Hello, Miss McCauley.
Erica, you're up.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yes, okay, hi. My name is Erica McCauley, and this is my husband, Andrew McCauley.
Hello.
Hello.
We're owners in the South Side neighborhood, and I'm here to discuss my concerns in opposition to the this additional short-term vacation rental in my neighborhood, 1420 Madison Street. So in a letter I provided to the Land Development Office, Andy Burke and Anthony Byrd, that was dated January 6, 2020, I made two very important points about the reasoning for opposition for short-term rentals in my neighborhood. Two of them are, the short-term rentals have been proven to be a nuisance and are infringing on my bundle of rights as a homeowner, specifically peaceful enjoyment. The second one is that the short-term rentals are not contributing to the long-term vision laid out by the city of Chattanooga. So let me explain a little further. On the first one, as a homeowner, I have the right to peaceful enjoyment of my home. Recently, I have had to file 3 separate complaints about a short-term rental in my neighborhood, being excessive noise, people that I do not know, failure to adhere to landscaping codes, also misuse of private property. I have locks on my trash can because people decide to use my trash can instead of the one assigned to their house. The worst part of this is that our neighborhood is already 33% short-term vacation rentals, which is well above the 1.8% city average. There are 3 illegal Airbnbs in our neighborhood. There's only 9 permitted, and with the addition of this short-term rental, that makes it 36% of the neighborhood as short-term rentals. Second part of this is that as a member of a multi-generational Chattanooga family, we have a vested interest in this city and the vision associated with it. So the long-term vision, and I'm going to quote this from Mayor Burke, is that he wants to be focused on affordable housing, opportunities for equity, and highlighting home ownership. So the short-term rentals take away this opportunity for people to own homes, and any affordable housing that is bought up by investors. So this is not just a problem for Chattanooga. In fact, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court heard a case against short-term rentals in a residential zone in April of 2019 and reached a unanimous decision that short-term rentals were not permitted for single-family homes. I have other sources and instances if you'd like those. Finally, let me leave you with one thing. In light of this pandemic that is going on, who do you think is carrying this city, the Chattanooga city of Chattanooga economy? I will give you a hint. It's not the tourists or the vacationers. It's the local people. It's people like me. It's people in my family contributing to the value and economic growth in this city. So my call to action for this council is that we need to involve our city planners as they understand the needs of this city and the reasons, they have reasons to allow rentals. And I'm trying to be fair-minded in this reasonable approach, but we have to consider where is the limit for short-term rentals. And I am suggesting that up to 30% of a neighborhood is not acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
You live, and ma'am, you do live in on Madison Street?
I live in a property that is adjacent to short-term rental. That is, it's within, I got the opposition letter. Like, do you please write a letter if you oppose this? So I live close enough. Our houses are very close together.
Okay. That community out there is very strong, and I do talk to that community a lot. I would like to follow up with this conversation. I will be deferring it for a week if it's okay with my other council members, but I will be following up with a conversation with you and some of the other residents out there, so you can, tell me a lot of your concerns and how you would like to move forward when it comes to short-term vacation rentals. I do get a lot of mixed conversations from different owners and different community members that live out there, but we do have to have a conversation and come up with what's best for that community. So like I told the applicant, if you can tonight as well, call me and we'll try to figure out a way we can get several of the community members on board and on the phone to see how we're going to move forward, and we'll go from there. My number is 423-645-3822. So if you can give me a call and we'll talk about this further on tonight. And I appreciate your concerns and thank you for your response, ma'am.
What time is the call?
After this session, we should be done. I would say around 7:30. I'll be looking for your call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate you, Miss Erica.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to defer until the 14th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
He's muted.
Yes.
all right. Chairman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Nicole, you muted yourself again.
sorry.
Okay.
I heard Councilwoman Byrd. Vice Chairman Henderson?
Yes.
All right, that was 9 yeses.
Okay, 9 yeses. Motion carries to defer for 1 week.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, if you would read 7C, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 20 STVR 00001 for property located at 1721 West 39th Street.
Chairman Oglesby, would you like Mr. Young to give us a presentation, or you got
I
something
would,
else
Mr.
in
Vice
mind?
Chairman. Yeah, I would like to hear a presentation on this.
Mr. Young? Mr. Young, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm going to share the screen again.
Okay.
It's telling me that screen sharing has been disabled.
Hang on 1 second. I may need to reset it. 1 moment.
Mr. Young, go ahead while we're catching up.
Try now. You should be good.
Okay.
There we have it now. (1721 West 39th Street) was the first STVR application of 2020. This property is located at the top of a hill on West 39th Street and nearly at the intersection of Church Street and West 39th. You see on this area map that there's been several new homes developed in this area, and you see that there are several owner-occupied STVRs with 2 non-owners being identified, one on West 38 and one on.
Wait a minute. I don't see the presentation.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
Let's go back and start again.
There you go.
Caleb, go ahead, since your screen's up. You go ahead and present this case then.
All right, should be good to go. 1721 West 39th Street, first short-term rental application of 2020. As Mr. Young has stated, that area, as you can see here, has got some new development going on, and it's got several owner-occupied short-term rentals within proximity. To note, this back area that's under construction is a parking pad that you'll see here shortly. So this is the front view from West 39th Street, corner view at the corner of 39th and Longview, looking down towards Longview. This is down West 39th, up West 39th, and then there you can see the parking pad that was recently installed. And this is from top down of West 39th. Here's the timeline. Submitted application January 2nd. Notification letters went out on the 9th. Sign was posted the 10th, and it is a new construction, so it had received a certificate of occupancy mid-November of last year. And that brings us to today.
Okay. Councilman Oglesby, do you have any questions about the presentation?
No, I don't, Mr. Vice Chair.
All right. Councilman Smith, could you take the screen down?
Yep.
There we go. Is the applicant present with us?
I do not
a Paula
see
Green.
I've got a Jill Green.
Jill Green. Let's try that one.
Okay. Just a moment. Screen, go right ahead.
Yes, hello. I'm Jill Green. I am a Chattanooga resident. I live here, work here.
Miss Green, hold on one second. Are you the applicant?
I am the applicant, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you, you have 5 minutes to present your case.
Okay, will do. Live and work in Chattanooga for over 20 years. I own rental property here, pay taxes in a lot of different districts. I have been building this property for over, 14-month construction. It was a very blighted property on the street, and I've got about $350,000 in the property now, and with the intention for it to be a short-term rental property and personally use it too when we have family come in, whatnot. But I was very intentional about the parking that you saw in the photos, because I know that's an issue, and I want to be a good neighbor and be a good business person as well. So there's actually parking that's been created. You could easily hold 4 cars. You could creatively probably park 6 cars off street between the driveway and the very large pad. Pad required a retaining wall and a lot of expense, but I felt like that was very prudent to do the right thing in creating the parking. Personally, I have about 15 years experience in vacation rentals. I own one in Nashville and this one, the proposed one. The one in Nashville is a very straightforward process. You're either in the zone to do it or you're not, and you meet the code, and I am in the zone, and I feel I am in this as well. I meet all the requirements for the zoning and for the property condition. I've read the complaints, and I feel like the issue is primarily with the road and the actual West 39th Street road. And that is an issue that it's not my issue. It's an issue between the residents and the city, and either the residents and a civil matter between them and Green Tech builder who built many of their homes. Also, with regards to zoning, most of the opposition purchased their homes in either 18 or 19, and the zoning was established essentially already. So they knew that there could be short-term rentals in that area. Lots and lots of subdivisions in Chattanooga, but this one does not have an HOA, as it's in the urban core of Chattanooga. It's within walking distance to restaurants, bars, the incline, a lot of tourist attractions. I love hosting short-term vacation rental properties. I love to create a beautiful space and give people a way that they want to travel. I travel that way. Many of you probably do. If you rent a vacation beach home or a beach condo in Destin or wherever, most of those are owned by private owners, not large corporations. And so I enjoy traveling that way personally, and I enjoy creating a space that enables other people to travel that way. In my Nashville property, I've hosted, I had a mom and adult daughters come and stay with me after the mom was celebrating cancer remission. I've hosted 4 brothers from all over the country that get together once a year, and Nashville was the place they picked this year. And just some really fun, interesting, great people that have no ill intention. So just like myself and just like any of you that would rent, you would be excellent guests, and that's what I'm seeking. The other complaint, I believe, or opposition is more anecdotal in nature, and it's that people are that come to rent properties are there with ill intentions. And just like I'm not there with an ill intention when I'm a traveler, I don't believe most of my guests are. But there are some very easy ways that you can invest in technology, and I've done that. I have Nest cameras. I know who's coming in. I match that to their driver's license when they check in. The Nest cameras are disclosed in my listing, which Airbnb allows. I photograph them. They sign a contract. I make them acknowledge they know there's a camera on the property, and it just thwarts. There's really no issues. I've never had an issue because it thwarts any issues, because people with ill intentions typically don't want to rent a property that they know there are cameras. And I also have noise detection devices. I will get a text if the noise goes above a certain decibel level. They know that, and they also know that they, would lose money, and there's penalties if they violate any of those house rules. So I feel like it's a great thing for the community. Travel has changed, and that's really the way people want to travel. And I think Chattanooga is a progressive city, and I just love welcoming people to our beautiful city. And I think it's adding good people, good tourists into a great area, and I'd love for them to experience St. Elmo and downtown Chattanooga. So again, I'm a super host, have been doing this for 15 years. I've also completed my vacation lodging service course with the state of Tennessee. I'm not required to do that as an owner, but I did just as an extra investment and see if there's anything I could learn from that. So I do desire to be a good neighbor and a good host, and I live here. So I'm here and I manage these personally.
Okay, thank you. Does that complete your presentation?
It does, thank you.
Councilman Oglesby, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, not at this time. Now I would love to hear from the opposition. Yes,
okay.
sir.
Very well. Just one moment. I've got 2 that are listed. I've got, we're going with Art and Vicki Lewis to start. All right. I have Art and Vicki Lewis. You've been added and unmuted. Please proceed.
Can you hear us?
We can.
Yes.
Okay. We've lived here for 40.
Let me say the opposition has a total time of 5 minutes.
For everybody?
For everybody, yes.
Okay, I'll be quick. I have a 6-year-old grandson who lives with me. My next door neighbor has 4 teenagers. Down the road is an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old. Next door is a disabled person. We're in the street all the time. Miss Green was incorrect. You cannot park on the street on West 39th. It's a fire lane. And trucks have a difficult time going up there, whether it's mail, FedEx, garbage, recycle.
Let me step in here. The garbage truck actually has to turn around and back up to Church Street because it's so narrow they can't maneuver up there. The fire department has got a problem with this street. It's too narrow, and
there's no space to widen it.
There's no space to widen it. So it's just not a good place to have any more rentals. We already have quite a number of rentals within a block of us, and we don't want the whole neighborhood to turn into a hotel.
And there is not parking for 6 cars.
We'll turn it over to
whoever
else is there.
Okay.
Okay.
Councilman Smith, if you'd stop the clock, and then
I am moving on to Calvin Lewis. Mr. Lewis, there you go.
Hello, can you all hear me?
We can.
Mr. Lewis, this is Councilman Henderson. I need to tell you, you have 3 minutes and 27 seconds remaining. Councilman Smith, is that all the opposition that you know of?
No, I have got 3 others that are on here as well.
So, Mr. Lewis, there are 3 others that would like to speak as well.
Okay, I'll try to make this quick. We are ones that live straight across from this house. she was trying to say it was a new build. It's not, it's a redone house. But the parking pad in which she's referring to is also, Green Tech told other property owners that that was their parking pad also. So that is not only for that house. They only have one driveway, and each time some owners show up, they park on the street, and it's hard to get by. And I don't like the fact that this lowers our property value when it's becoming all rentals in this short-term rentals in this area. Because nobody wants to live by short-term rentals. I don't want to. We've lived here for over 10 years, actually 12 years. And we were here before it was changed, and we don't appreciate them changing for short-term rentals where people do not live in the house. She does not live in our neighborhood, and this is just a business. So give the rest of the time to the next person.
Thank you. You can stop the clock, Councilman Smith.
All right, let's move on. We've got Chelsea Kephart. Kephart, there you go.
What's her last name?
It's Kephart, Kephart.
Okay. We do have a couple more that would like to speak in opposition, and there's 1:52 left.
Go ahead.
So I would like to comment on Miss Green's want to be a good neighbor. I've never met Miss Green, and I'm across from that street. I would like to bring up how prior to purchasing this home, I was promised that parking pad, that I would be parked in that area when Church Street was lowered. So unfortunately, I would love to agree with Miss Green as she wants to be a good neighbor. And however, I've never met her. This road on Church Street, which is right next to 1721 West 39th Street, is supposed to get lowered. And I would just like to point out that construction is supposed to start this year. So therefore that would create a bottleneck for any type of parking, as well as me and my neighbors not being able to get to our garages and our driveways behind our houses. So that is it. 48 seconds.
Okay.
Boom.
Thank
Whew.
you.
Did I breathe?
All right.
Thank y'all.
Councilman Smith, if you'd stop the clock, please.
It is. And we're moving on to Mr. Grady, Ben Grady. Mr. Grady, you're ready to go if you unmute.
All right, thanks, guys. Hey, this is Ben Grady. I live
Mr. Grady, let me tell you, you have 43 seconds left.
I'm looking at it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I live just right around the corner, and just a couple of points, some to reiterate, but the percentage of short-term rentals in our little area here is way too high, and especially with the non-owner occupieds. The noise level, the noise is going to shoot straight up based on where the deck is to the three neighbors across the street. And with the beautiful space that Ms. Green was talking about, that is one of the perks of Airbnb is generally the yards are kept up in really great shape. But the yard at this point, 311 could be called on it. I would show you a picture, but I'm out of time.
Okay, thank you to all the opposition.
Mr. Chair, Mr.
Councilwoman Burrs?
Yeah, is there one more person?
I've got 3.
I've heard enough. I mean, and with that being said, I'm going to ask for a deferral for 1 week so I have an opportunity to talk to Ms. Green, as well as those folks who may not have had an opportunity to speak. I think with equity, we give them 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. So I will be getting with the Lewises, Gephardt, and anybody else that would like to have a conversation with me. And I would ask the council if they would, I'm going to make a motion to ask for a 1 week deferral to have more conversation with these citizens.
Second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank
Okay,
you
we
very
have
much.
a motion. We have a motion to defer until April the 14th with a second. Madam Clerk, would you do the roll call, please?
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Chairman Oglesby,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Councilman Gilbert?
Yes.
all right. Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
All right, that's 9 yeses.
Okay, 9 yeses, motion carries to defer until April the 14th. Okay, Mr. Chair, at this time, I'm going to relinquish the chair back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Madam Clerk, if you're ready, let's move on now to Public Works and Transportation, item 6, well, actually, item 7D.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into blanket contracts for horticultural and green infrastructure consultation, materials, and maintenance contract number S18001 for various city properties for a 1-year term with 4 1-year renewals for the following 5 vendors. 1, Circadian Consulting LLC, 2, Ranger Ecosystem Restoration LLC, 3, Davis Key Outdoor LLC, 4, Clean Sweep Inc., and 5, Hickory Landscapes LLC for an estimated contract amount of $1 million annually for all vendors for use by Public Works Water Quality.
What's your pleasure, Council?
Move to
approval.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved in. I saw Madam Clerk going back and forth to make sure she got the right appropriate people. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses.
Motion carries with 9. Okay, Madam Clerk,
Mr.
let's
Chair,
do.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, Vice Chairman Henderson.
Mr. Attorney, the next 4 items are in transportation. They're all in District 5. I've not heard of any opposition. Can we read these as a bundle and vote on them at one time?
Yes, sir, as long as each resolution is read during a public meeting on there, and if there's any dispute about any one of them, then you could vote on them separately.
Okay.
Okay, is that good with you? This is in your district, Councilman Gilbert?
That's fine with me.
Okay, excellent. Madam Clerk, let's start with E.
7E, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Transportation to enter into an agreement with Adams Contracting LLC relative to contract number T14036-201 for construction services associated with Kane Lane Greenway Connector in the amount of $647,921 with a contingency amount of $64,792.10 for a total amount of $712,713.10.
Thank you. Item F.
A resolution authorizing payment to the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the City of Chattanooga share of an agreement with Alfred Benish and Company relative to contract number T14036-101 for professional services associated with Kane Lane Greenway Connector Construction Engineering Inspection in the amount of $35,921.60.
Item G.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Transportation to enter into an agreement with J.D. James, Inc., DBA, Nature Bridges, relative to contract number T15032-201 for construction services associated with South Chickamauga Greenway Connector in the amount of $1,739,921.13 with a contingency amount of $173,992.11 for a total amount of $1,913,913 $1,913,913.24.
Item H.
A resolution authorizing payment to the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the City of Chattanooga's share of an agreement with Arcadis US Inc. relative to contract number T150322101 for professional services associated with South Chickamauga Greenway Connector Construction, Engineering, and Inspection in the amount of $55,096.18.
Councilman Gilbert.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Did we lose her?
I don't see her on here.
Yep.
Think she's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
That's 8 yeses.
Okay, motion carries with 8. Okay, that concludes this part of our city council meeting. We will now move on to purchases. Who do we have the pleasure?
I've got Mr. Sammons. One moment.
Who?
Tony, you're good.
Thank you. Good evening, members of council.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
Good evening, Tony.
We have 2 purchase items for your consideration. Starting with the first, we have from the Fleet Management Division of Public Works, the purchase of 2 2021 Kenworth T370 chassis with Heil PT 1000 rear loading refuse body, being awarded to Stringfellow for a total annual cost of $365,126.10. The next item is from the Youth and Family Development Department. It's for rental vans for transporting food for children, and it's being awarded to Enterprise Holding for a total estimated annual cost of $85,000. And that concludes the new purchases.
Thank you, Mr. Sammons. Council, what's your pleasure? Any on the purchases?
Move approval.
Okay. It's been moved and did I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Any further discussion on purchases? Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, I don't know if you're here.
She is.
I don't
Yes.
see her. Oh, there she is, yeah.
And what was your vote?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Councilman Gilbert,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Oglesby.
Yes.
All right, that's 9 yeses.
Okay, purchase is approved, 9 votes. Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Sammons.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we do have 2 emergency purchases I'd like to make council aware of. These are 2 COVID-19 related purchases that were made during the absence of council. And those items are one for our fire department, and they were for MSA G1 face piece APR adapter and MSA Opti filters. And that was to be used. Those items were our inserts that would be used in the mask that the firefighters already have in place of using the N95 mask. And the other item was the purchase of infrared thermometers from the Human Resources Department. We've already received, we placed an order for 150. We've received half that order, which we're already in the process of distributing to our various departments. And we expect the remaining order of those thermometers to be in by tomorrow or by Thursday at the latest.
Okay, thank you.
It's the emergency purchases.
Okay. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we don't vote on emergency purchases.
Oh, we don't, okay.
Nope.
Great
Then-
point, Councilman Mitchell.
That's just information.
I
Right,
think it's supposed to be signed in front of us though, correct?
Yes.
okay,
We all agree.
cool, okay.
Phil,
Excellent.
Phil, you're gonna have to figure that one out.
We're going to have to work the e-signature out on how to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Council.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you, Mr. Sammons.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, let's move on to other business. Phil?
One item, Chair, that I have sent to Nicole this evening here so that there could be electronic signatures applied. I sent it to her this afternoon by a scanned version, and it's for a retail food store background investigation for takeout alcohol sales. It's for Cost Plus DBA World Market at 2200 Hamilton Place Boulevard. And there needs to be at least 5 signatures on that document to authorize that to occur in accordance with your practices in the past.
Okay, great, thank you. Is there any other business this council would like to share?
I got a question.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I see your hand, Councilman Gilbert, you have the floor.
Is it possible if our host, can we start at all the meetings at least 15 minutes prior so that if we have any type of issue with the auto or anything that we can work it out before we start a meeting? Is it all
Yeah, I
right
mean,
with everybody else?
we started the first one early. This one was just, we had 15 minutes in between. So, but yeah, we should be starting all these meetings at least 15, if not 20 minutes before the meeting time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Smith. Thank you, Councilman Gilbert. Vice Chairman Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is for Ms. Gwen. Will you be calling everyone to get approval for electronic signatures?
Yes, I do have one person who's already signed off, and I'm trying to get in contact with others tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Is there any other business any member of this council would like to share?
Vice Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I am still getting complaints from businesses and constituents of people that are not obeying the rules when it comes to shutting down. And I would ask the staff if they could email me a one-pager or something to where I can get people to the proper people they need to talk to report. They said 311 has been kind of backed up, and I just would like to know if there's any other outlets that people can report business that are not, abiding by the rules. So if someone from the administration who is listening, if you can email me something or reach out to me, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Byrd. Is there any other business?
Mr. Chair, just a moment, I believe. Well, no, he put his hand down. I was going to say Mr. Hayes was going to respond to Councilman Byrd. Just a moment. Kerry, go ahead.
Hey, can everyone hear me? Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Hayes,
Councilman, I appreciate the question very much. I know it's been extremely frustrating and a little confusing for some constituents, the way that executive order is interpreted. If 311 is experiencing some overages, I'm happy to hear from people. You can call me, you can text me, you can let me know if there's some kind of way that I can either problem solve immediately around an interpretation of the executive order, or if there's a business that may be out of compliance that we need to know about, please feel free to direct those to me.
Thank you, Kerry.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Chairman.
you, Kerry.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I see no other hands. Let's now move on to committee reports. Councilwoman Byrd.
No report, sir.
Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. We had an amazing meeting today in ECD about an amazing small business plan that the city hopefully will be rolling out. And I just want to thank everyone for that and thank ECD and the staff and this council for the first vote on that today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Kumar.
No report.
Okay. Councilman Gilbert.
No report.
Vice Chairman Henderson.
No report.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Planning and Zoning did meet today, and we discussed all the items on our agenda, including diving into form-based code text amendments, which I want to remind everybody we will have an April 28th special meeting to discuss the form-based code text amendments, and remind everybody, if you would please, to text your questions to me, and I will direct them to John Bridger and get you an answer as fast as possible. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Ledford. Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We will have Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting next week after agenda session.
Great, thank you. Councilman Smith.
No report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Okay, that concludes committee reports. Now we will recognize person wishing to address the city council. What do you have, Councilman Smith?
I've got one, so I think, Mr. Attorney, if you'd read the rules, we'll get started.
All right, yeah, and just for this meeting, I was going to tell you, at least all of the people that are watching this, is the council website is very good about how to get in touch with these meetings. There is a website page that's got all the council members on there telling people how to get to the electronic virtual meetings, and it also tells them all of the rules that are available. One of the issues that's come up this evening was the sign-up sheets that are available to people as well. And anybody requesting to speak on a virtual meeting needs to actually sign one of those sign-up sheets and actually provide the topic that they're talking about. That would help us this evening to at least know which matter someone is wanting to talk about if there's a public hearing that is ongoing. But the requirements that we have on our website, there's a set of rules on there for everyone that is the council rules for each meeting. These meetings are allowed to be virtually right now because of an executive order of the governor that was entered on March the 20th. And the governor's order applies to any state, county, or municipal entity that provides electronic meetings. One of the things that we require in these meetings is that it has to be audible to the public at any location specified in the notice. That's why our notices all on the council website go out for this page. Each member participating electronically has to be able to hear each other simultaneously and speak to each other during the meeting. All of the documents that are going to be discussed in any meeting have already been provided to the council electronically prior to the meeting, and all votes at each meeting are to be taken by roll call. So this notice is provided to make sure that anyone can participate electronically or by other means. So the council has adopted rules. They're on the council's website, and they clearly say that anybody that wants to speak at the end of the meeting to address the council can do so with these requirements. Each speaker to address the council can only be recognized after they have provided identification, including the speaker's name, their address, and council district of residence with some identification establishing that before addressing the council. That's all on the sign-up sheet that they can sign directly from the council website here each day. No person can have more than 3 minutes to speak. The speaker can address the council only upon issues within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not on issues that are under the authority of other governmental bodies or agencies. The speaker can't use the opportunity of a microphone to use any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and has to address the council as a whole and not make comments directed towards individual council members. And you can only do so once during a council day for that to occur. One last item that is on our rules is the chair cannot, shall not permit disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting in a virtual format here, because that's prohibited by Tennessee law. And if a warning is given to any disruptor, that person should cease. And that's the rules for this meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Noblet. Councilman Smith, who do we have signed up?
I have Miss Marie Mott with her hand up. Now, at this time, I do not have anybody that has filled the form out and submitted it that is here. However, Ms. Mott does have her hand up. Mr. Chair, obviously that is your decision based on how we are changing things up, but this being our first meeting recognizing public, I'd like everybody to have an opportunity, as they may be hearing for the first time, that we do have a form that we prefer people to sign up on. But sir, that is up to you if you would like me to open Ms. Mott's mic.
Yes, and I would appreciate if Ms. Mott would give her name, address, what district she lives in, and we would be more than happy to hear what she has to say tonight.
All right, one moment. Ms. Mott, you're up.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Marie Mott, Oak Grove, 1615 Lynbrook Avenue. I'm pretty sure you guys have missed me. I've missed you very much. I'm here just with some simple demands on behalf of the community in this hour. The first being that I ask that all council persons be in prayer for Miss Venice Hughley, who is the president of Lincoln Park Neighborhood Association. She is currently in the hospital. So if you don't mind, just reaching out to Tiffany Rankins and sending her some love, as well as just lifting up positive vibrations and prayers on her mother's behalf. The demands that I have on behalf of the people are very important in an hour such as this. And while I can certainly appreciate the bold policies that the city has enacted thus far, I'm going to challenge my city to do a little bit better. I am asking that the city council, along with our mayor, suspend rent for all citizens in public housing. I am also asking for our city council and our mayor during this pandemic to continue to provide uninterrupted access to public utilities such as electricity, internet, and sewage. Number 3, I think this is a perfect time that we should be able to stop having the discussion around the fight for 15, considering that we have city workers who are coming to work during a pandemic. I think it is time for the city council to step up and finally give all of our city workers equitable pay with a $15 an hour minimum. I certainly want to say thank you to all of our citizens that continue to come to work and make our city work during this time. And finally, I think that the city council, as well as the mayor, need to step up in collaboration with Hamilton County and even hospital corporations in the city to extend COVID-19 testing throughout our city. To have only tested 1,303 individuals, that's barely 1% of the city of Chattanooga's population. That's not even counting the county family. So to have 9 people who have already died, an increasing number of sick individuals, we have not tested nearly enough individuals, as well as there are equity gaps and language gaps that exist in the community. So if we are going to be a city of creators, that does not mean just create opportunities for economic development. That also means to create perfect solutions or better solutions in a time of trouble and need for those that exist in our city. As always, family, it's Marie Mott. I love you all, and it's nothing you can do about it. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Ms. Mott.
Thank you, yes. Is there anyone else?
Mr. Chair, I see no other hands raised.
Great.
Mr.
Thank
Chair?
you.
Well, except for Councilman Henderson.
If there's no other public comment, I move that we recess this meeting and that we reconvene tomorrow, Wednesday, April the 8th at 10 a.m.
Second.
Yeah, it's been moved and properly seconded. I believe we voted on it earlier under that format. So with that being said, we will reconvene tomorrow morning, April the 8th at 10 o'clock a.m. on this format. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow morning.